There is no one above me.
Arrived at target site, preparing for battle.
Who will come out on top? Ready! Fight!
Flee for your life.
Fire! Unity! Propulsor Ray, here comes the boom!
Handball is worthless. Ultra!
Yes!
Get ready! Get ready!
Yes!
Unity! Propulsion hit!
Yes! Air combo!
Emperor Step nullified. Titan Shield. Handball. Nullified. Learn your place! Sovereign!
Unity! Propulsor Ray!
I'll keep you! Sovereign decree! Handball! You're outmatched! Ultra!
Titan combo KO! Impressive!
I am the summit of perfection in this universe.
So I took a shower after my MCU Phase 1 video. I got something to drink, and or not after the video, but after the audio. Got something to drink, so I'm not as dehydrated, and you know, whatever. But now I'm ready to prattle on about X-Men: Days of Future Past. I did some weird hand motions, not that you guys can see them. You know, that's the only thing that kind of bums me out about this way of recording. But whatever, man, it's pretty good, right? Aside from that slight drawback, what the fuck is with my pocket? Is there something? What the fuck? Is that a seam? What is that? Is that a button? What is with this pocket, man? This is weird. It's a button that... This is weird, man. This is weird. Is it on the other side? I can't even feel it from the outside. That's weird. I'm confused. Okay, so, anyways. This movie... I struggle to remember how exactly it starts. It's on Disney Plus, though, so go watch it. It's pretty fucking good. This is a Wolverine movie where, unfortunately, he doesn't use his claws. Or he doesn't have his metal claws. His bone claw, which are cool, but I'm like, bro, the metal claw is where it's fucking at. So that kind of, you know, that's kind of annoying. In fact, there's this one scene, this is like way at the end though. It's really cool. It's like the fucking Avengers. I keep trying to say Avengers for literally everything. I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, Batman? Pfft, fucking Avengers. So it's like X-Men in the future fighting an army of Sentinels to protect Wolverine and Shadowcat. By the way, it never fucking explained why suddenly Shadowcat can send people into the future. But whatever. Or send people into the past. I don't know if she can send it into the future, but whatever. That's such a weird mutant power. Honestly, if I was just a mere human, I would be quite afraid of the mutants. If I knew that power was a thing, I'd be like, she could just send someone back to the past. They could kill me when I was a baby. But anyways, so it's the X-Men in the future, like Storm, Magneto, everybody. And yeah, Magneto I would consider part of the X-Men in this movie. Not past Magneto. Past Magneto is an asshole. But present Magneto. Or technically future Magneto. Not present. What even fucking is the present? I'm confused. Because we're led to believe that that's the future. Hence, Days of Future Past. Whatever. Should Days of Present Past. But, you know, so you got all these X-Men fighting the Sentinels in the future, and then you got the X-Men, well, you got Charles, Magneto, and Wolverine fighting the Sentinels in the past, although Magneto is controlling a few of the Sentinels. So anyways, Wolverine, with his bone claws, goes to stab one of the Sentinels, right in the arm, with its weird little twisty thing. And then, you know, he doesn't have his metal claws, so instead of cutting right through it, it just grinded his bone and broke it and probably grinded it to dust. So it just ripped right off. Like, that's gotta be fucking painful. How does that even feel, though? Because again, I'm going back onto that statement of, like, what would it be like? You know, for some reason my brother didn't know that bones had nerves, so he's like, oh, you don't feel anything. I'm like, a broken bone hurts us. Like, fuck. Clearly, there's something on there. I mean, because then it would just be the skin hurting. But a broken bone is a different kind of hurt. Trust me, I know. But it did. Like, if Wolverine, like, what happened to Wolverine? How does that feel? It sucks, obviously. But, like, if you look at his x-ray, Google a Wolverine x-ray, nothing about that looks human, and then on top of that, I don't even know what he does to, like, I don't even know what he does. You know, think about how you bend your fingers and stuff. That's kind of a, you know, how would you get his claws to come out? What would you have to do that? What kind of signals would your brain have to be sending? What kind of, like, you know how you walk? How do you, how is that? Okay? First of all. And then, how would it feel if your claw, there's a scene in X-Men Origins Wolverine where his bone claws are out, and Sabretooth, stomps them. You know, he stomps Wolverine's hand, which causes his claws to come out as like a reaction, and then he stomps the claws, and just breaks them. Look like wood chips going everywhere. How does that feel? I want to know. I don't want to experience it, but I want to know. I do not envy being Wolverine. Like, yeah, I would love a healing factor, just in case any of that happened to me. But over having a healing factor or just being like Superman, I would take being like Superman. But you know, if someone manages to break Superman's bones, it's still gonna suck. So a healing factor would be great too. Anyways, basically the ending fight scene was amazing. I'll get into more detail later. I just really wanted to bring up the Wolverine thing. So Wolverine, when we open up, I don't know how the Rogue Cut is. I've never watched it. I want to, but I never have. I have like 2 copies of X-Men Days of Future Past. Like a shitty DVD that sort of works. I don't know. It's all like, the DVD is way more pixelated than I think a DVD should be. It's always been like that. And then, sometimes the DVD doesn't even work. That's a recent development. But we got the X-Men Beginnings trilogy, Blu-ray set. Pretty good. It's, First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse. And boy, those movies are fucking quality. or they look quality. I'm not huge on well, actually, no, I really like Apocalypse. It's Dark Phoenix I don't like. Dark Phoenix and the 2003 Hulk movie are the only superhero movies I hate. They're also really the only bad ones that I've watched. Well, ones that I can see being bad. Like, there's some... I've seen the Fantastic Four movies, but I think those are insufficient. I have not seen Phantom Four Stick. That's on Disney Plus now, so I guess I can go watch it there, but I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I kind of want to go back and watch those. I'm a little scared. I want to go back and watch because I'm excited for the Fantastic Four to join the MCU, but I don't want those movies to be like, oh wow, Reed Richards sucks. You know? I don't want it to hurt my opinion on those characters. And I'm sure it's gonna. But anyways, also, what the fuck was up with the Galactus thing where he was a fucking cloud? A cloud. Yes, there's this scary guy that eats planets and shit, and so he doesn't necessarily always eat them, but he, he absorbs them. So you know what we're gonna fucking do? We're gonna turn him into a cloud. Clouds sure are scary. No, they're not. What are you doing? So yeah. Anyways, back on topic. They were supposed to have a Phantom Four Stick and X-Men crossover, and honestly, glad that didn't happen. But dude, there's a spot in this pocket. This is fucking weird. Where my hands can just chill out. Like, there's a spot for my thumb and a spot for each of my fingers. This is weird. This is the weirdest fucking pocket ever. So that's weird. Anyways, the way this movie opens up, we have like little dialogue from Magneto, similar to the first X-Men movie. Not Magneto, Charles Xavier. Similar to the first X-Men movie, where Charles is like, Charles is like, what is a mutation? And he goes on a little speech. I don't remember exactly what Charles' speech was in Days of Future Past, but I don't even remember what it was entirely about. But it had something to do with like how bad the future has gotten and stuff, obviously. And so we see people like being subjugated. Charles is like, it's even worse than we thought. It's not even just mutants that are being hunted down. It's people who can pass down the mutant gene, or the X gene. And so whatever. But Wolverine straight up gets off the Blackbird and just smokes a cigar. But we see that happens in a minute. We see the Sentinels coming for everybody, and these Sentinels are fucking scary, man. These Sentinels are fucking scary. But we see that they can mimic powers as this one grabs like later on in the movie. I can't think of an example at the beginning, but there's this mutant called Blink. She's on the Gifted show. She can teleport and shit and open up portals. So these mutants can assimilate powers. There's this one that I think it kills Pyro, and so now it has like a heat blast power, and then it kills Blink. Blink's teleporting around, and then Blink attacks them from above, and then Blink gets while they're melting Iceman, Blink gets pulled into the heat blast, and then we see another Sentinel teleporting around and shit, and it's like, holy fuck, these things mean business. And so Mystique set all of this into motion by killing Trask. And I'm gonna be totally honest, I'd have killed Trask too. Like, there's no political statement here. You're fucking trying to hunt down and kill mutants. You view them as a threat. I know Mystique only reinforced what he was thinking, but if I were Mystique, I would have done one thing differently. I would have not missed my shot and I would not have taken so long to kill Trask. Like, that motherfucker would be dead before he even had that idea in his head. That rhymed, and I did not intend it to, and that sounded stupid. But, you know. So, Mystique killing Trask set all of this into motion. But then it happens, even though she doesn't kill Trask, it happens again anyways. Also, like, we see that Mystique puts everything into motion in both timelines, both versions of events. Only the way they resolve the event is kind of stupid. Mystique showed compassion, so suddenly the future's saved. Yippee. I mean, until we get to Logan, but I'm saving that for a little while now. Just for a second. That's gonna be the next movie I review. Because I was doing all of like the original timeline X-Men movies that I have access to. Which I'm really confused on how the timeline works because it really doesn't make sense to me, but so far it goes what I have access to is X-Men Days of Future Past, and Logan. I don't really have any of these movies, so I'm slipping by on streaming services, you know. First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse are part of the... Oh, and Dark Phoenix are part of this new timeline. Which can go fuck right off. Not really... I don't really think the new timeline's that great. But also, I'm not really sure how Logan fits into the multiple time... Dude, because the timelines don't even make sense. There are two timelines in the X-Men universe. But that just shouldn't be possible because at the end of Days of Future Past, we see that they've just obliterated, like, when they created the new timeline, the old timeline was erased, right? So really nothing makes sense. X-Men is just fucked beyond belief. They're a good ride. They're a good ride. But, yeah, Logan, that comes at the end, so I'll be doing that next. And then I'll do all of the new timeline ones, which I have access to all of them. So, I mean, I won't be doing this one because I'm already doing this one. So, don't get your hopes up for that. But, anyways, back on topic. These Sentinels can take over powers and shit, and they're hunting down more than just mutants. It's now humans that can pass down the X gene. They're also hunting down humans that are helping mutants. So they just want mutants dead, and if you stop them, you're dead. If you even think about stopping them, you're dead, right? These Sentinels are just crazy. Dude, I'm pretty sure these Sentinels would have killed Trask, so bravo, you done fucked up. Done fucked up. Also, when these Sentinels were first being made, why didn't Charles Xavier fuck them up? Or why didn't someone fuck them up? 'Cause, yeah, you have Wolverine, and Wolverine's a mutant, and, you know, and so mutants are getting fucked over. Because, I mean, these Sentinels were around before and after the first X-Men movie. So what the fuck? The timeline really doesn't make any sense to me. I'm gonna need to rewatch all of these movies for it to make sense. Do some mental gymnastics and be like, yeah, this makes perfect sense. See what we have here? I got that conspiracy... You know that conspiracy meme where the guy from It's Always Sunny or whatever, he's got this like corkboard next to him with all the rubber bands and tacks and stuff on it, and then like that after watching all of these X-Men movies, that'll be me. And then instead of this huge conspiracy board, it just says it all makes sense. You know? Also, I'm not even factoring in Deadpool. Fuck, this is worse. That doesn't even make any sense at all. Charles Xavier isn't even bald in that one. Or is he? No, I don't think he's bald in... Deadpool 2, everybody. I can't remember. But yeah, Deadpool definitely doesn't jive with the timeline. So anyways, what was I going on about? So, like, they should have fucked up these Sentinels before before it got this bad. Well, we see through the movie, we see Wolverine gets sent to the past. Obviously, I don't know why it took me so long to get to that point. And, well, he sounds kind of like he's high, honestly, when he gets back in his older body. And, so, he's like, you don't want to mess with this, I know how this is going to end. Or you don't want to mess with me, I know how this is going to end. And then the guy's like, why, because you're from the future? And then he's like, no, because I got these. And he pops out his claws. And then he looks at them and notices they're not his metal claws. And he's like, oh no, this is not going to be as easy as I thought. I mean, honestly, let's be real. They could have shot him all over the place. They could have landed a few headshots. That's not going to kill Wolverine. But you know he was kind of disappointed when he found out that he didn't have the metal boys. Them metal boys. So, yeah. And then, so, you know, once Wolverine gets out of that awkward situation, he goes to the X Mansion, and he's like, yo, where's the professor? And then the Beast is just like, no, there's no professor here. And then Xavier's walking around, and he's like, what? That shouldn't be possible. Sorry about that interruption. So what the fuck was it going on about? So he goes to the X Mansion, and he's like, yo, what the fuck? Seeing Charles walking, and he's like, huh? And Charles's plot development during this movie is pretty cool, but he never shows off his powers in any meaningful way, in my opinion. Like, in fact, anytime he needs to use his powers, it's generally someone else doing something. Like the Quicksilver time in a bottle sequence where Magneto's like, come on, Charles, freeze them. And then Xavier's just like, I can't. And Magneto's like, what the fuck? So Wolverine pops out his bony boys again. And, then Quicksilver just does everything. I want to know how that looked in, like... I want them to recreate that scene. But instead of seeing... Well, I want them to redo that scene in, like, in a Deadpool movie. But instead of, showing us Quicksilver's perspective, we just see everyone else's. But, yeah. And, so... then, you know, the movie kicks off. I don't need to go into too much detail about this stuff. But they track down Mystique, and Magneto tries to kill Mystique, which obviously strains their relationship a little bit, and ultimately makes things worse. Magneto, dude, present day or future Magneto is, like, pretty chill. He's a pretty chill guy. He's pretty cool. But for some reason, like, he's even, like, all those years wasted fighting each other. And Magneto's like, it's all my fault. Anyways. But I'm sorry, friend. And then he sort of dies. I think. He might not die, but he was not in good condition. And Magneto in past Magneto, he's just like, alright, kill them all. Like, he makes everything worse And it's almost like he's doing it on purpose. But we have, yeah. So, the plot kicks off. Then we have some more time travel things. Wolverine seems constantly surprised, though, that he doesn't have his Metallico boys. So, yeah. And that irked me about this movie, is he does not use his claws, his metal claws, whatsoever, unless he attacks, unless it's when he was attacking Shadowcat, which was just pointless. He's just like, yep. Also, you guys couldn't have done anything to stop the bleeding while she was... Like, they just did not treat her at all while she was helping out Wolverine. She's just bleeding a ton. And they're just like, she can't go on much longer. It's like, you aren't going to try and stop the bleeding a little bit? Get a towel, apply some pressure on that. That's what you're supposed to do. Just maybe not stop, but slow, It's impressive she was able to do it for as long as she did. Which was surprisingly long enough. But yeah, I really wish we got some time to see Wolverine messing up a Sentinel. Alas, that didn't happen. And yeah, so the rest of this is just like an X-Men movie. It's simply to connect the old timeline to the new timeline, get some goodwill among the fans with this new timeline, because it was off to a rocky start. X-Men First Class was, I don't believe it was well received. People didn't hate it, but I've heard some people say it's just kind of run-of-the-mill. And last time I watched it, that's also kind of how I felt, but I'll watch it again, I don't know. Although, I do want to know, Wolverine says he knew Quicksilver, but when? Quicksilver wasn't in any of the movies, was he? Like, X-Men 1, 2, or 3, X-Men Origins, the Wolverine, all of those take place in the original timeline, and I'm certain that Quicksilver was not in any of those. Although I haven't watched X3 before. X2 I watched a while ago, but I think I would remember Quicksilver. So yeah, Quicksilver, he's a great addition to this movie, but he sort of just fucks off right at the end. Even though he could totally run through a horde of Sentinels, right? Just probably destroy some of them by walking through them. Not to mention how fast he could punch. Infinite Mass Punch, anyone? The Infinite Mass Punch is not a power that the Flash has. It's just a natural law of science. It's called relativistic mass. So, check it. Mass increases with acceleration. So, yeah, anyways, we have, a few cutaways to the future every now and then, but they don't really serve any purpose. Apparently the Rogue cut features Rogue. Not super prominently, but that's why it's called the Rogue cut. So I want to know how the fuck they cut an entire character out of a movie. I mean, yeah, she has like a cameo at the end of the movie, but she was in more than just that cameo scene. In the original theatrical cut of the film, she's in 30 seconds of the movie. How did you cut an entire character out of the movie? I wonder if there were any more characters that were cut. Although I always did like Rogue in the first X-Men movie. So, I want to see that Rogue cut eventually. But, then you have, where they, like, Mystique, even though the X-Men came to the past, well, Wolverine came to the past and he brought, and he got together the X-Men again, some of their crew, they did that to fix the timeline, but the timeline ends up being worse and worse and worse. I do really like that scene with Charles reading Wolverine's mind and then talking to other Charles. Not entirely sure how that works. that was kind of weird. That doesn't make any sense at all. So, but yeah, they brought back in the end of the movie, they brought back all of the actors, like Kelsey Grammer, I think the guy is who plays Beast. Like, it was weird because Beast is like, I probably shouldn't ask you this, but do I make it in the future? And he's just, Wolverine's like, no. And then Beast looks at him like, what the fuck, man? And Wolverine's like, yeah, well, we can change that. Also, Wolverine died at the end of the movie, and then he's just fine. And then, disguised as Stryker, Mystique takes Wolverine. And so I'm like, oh, where are they going? But in X-Men Apocalypse, they throw that plotline away, and Stryker takes Wolverine. Like, how the... What happened here, man? But, then there's, Stryker, no. Like, so, it doesn't even make sense, right? As far as I'm aware, I can't remember who all died in Dark Phoenix, but I'm pretty sure some people died. I know Mystique died, but, X-Men Dark Phoenix just threw away, like, everything. Dude, when I get to X-Men Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix and stuff, I'm gonna stop nitpicking at the moment, and I'll point it out later. Alright, sorry for wasting time with all this Dark Phoenix shit. I genuinely hate that movie. It has good moments in it, but moments don't make a movie. So anyways, the ending is really cool though. You see Jean, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, by the way. Why do none of the movies or cartoons call her Marvel Girl? That's so weird to me. She was introduced into the comics as Marvel Girl, and then X-Men the Animated Series' intro just has a bunch of cool logos and a bunch of cool like code names and stuff. It's like Wolverine, Gambit, Cyclops, and then you just see Jean Grey, and it's like, bruh? But yeah, so man, it is really hot and I'm getting really dehydrated again. We see all the X-Men back, you know, seeing Rogue was pretty cool for a minute there, but then she's gone again. And so after... Shit, wait, was Logan part of the old timeline, or is it the new timeline? I'm confused again. Whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah, so the ending is just so cool. Like, easily one of the best parts. Although everyone's being kind of an ass to Wolverine when he first wakes up. He's like Cyclops is like, stay away from my girl, bro. And then, Wolverine just puts his hands on Cyclops, says some things never change, huh? And he says, good to see you, Scott. And Cyclops is like, okay. So Wolverine's like, Professor. And then Professor X is just like, Wolverine, don't you have a fucking history class to teach? And he's like, history? Yeah, mine's a little different than yours. And he's like, Wolverine, you on acid again? I thought you quit that in like the 70s. What is up with you and your acid? And then Charles is like, fine. What do you need help with? And then he's like, Wolverine's like, basically everything after 78. My history is different than your history. And so Professor X is like, oh my god. It's the pre-acid version of you. You're back. Oh, I forgot, there's this one part where, I keep referencing the acid part, but basically Wolverine sees Stryker and he has like a PTSD flashback or whatever, and then he just and because Shadowcat isn't projecting, like, the Wolverine that is freaking out and stuff is the Wolverine from this point in time, because present day or future Wolverine is in past Wolverine's body and stuff. But then past Wolverine is just, he's like, where am I? How did I get here? And then Wolverine, like, he's like, where the hell am I? Who are you? And then Charles is like, did somebody give you some acid? Some bad acid? And then I can't remember exactly what he says, but Wolverine, like, when Beast, like, just jumps out of the, or when Beast, like, turns into Beast, instead of just Hank McCoy, Wolverine freaks out and says, what the hell is that? Or was it like, what the fuck was that? Because the X-Men movies did use, they weren't very conservative with that, with the F word, so, you know, the fuck word. Like, I will tell you, as you once told me, go fuck off. And it's like, dude, Jeremy Jahns, look up his review of this movie. It's the fucking best. I'm sorry. I cannot, I'm trying to do Jeremy Jahns' humor, but I can't. I'm just gonna do me from here on out, okay? I'm gonna do me. Do me, myself, and I. Yeah, this movie, so fucking good. But like I said at the beginning, it really irks me that Wolverine doesn't ever use his metal claws. One, obviously, he can't. But, dude, you want to know something? In Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes, I think it's subtitled, not that that's important. If I had to choose between Metal Claw Wolverine or Bone Claw Wolverine, 9 out of 10 times, maybe 9 out of 11 times, I would choose Metal Claw. I'd be like, hey, it's Bone Claw, just for the hell of it, at some point, but 9 out of 10 times, bitch, I'm Metal Claw. That's the cool guy. I mean, just imagine if Dark Claw, the amalgam version of Batman and Wolverine, just imagine if he had the bone claws, that would be so fucking lame. It's like, oh cool, look, it's Dark Claw. Oh fuck, he has metal claw, or he has bone claws. Come on, DC, or Darvel. MC. The Marvel Comics, MC. Anyways, look at this movie. I know this review's been all over the place, but I give this movie a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Yeah, in the back of my mind, I was always thinking, when's he gonna use the Wolverine, or when's he gonna use the metal claws, but... but 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Yeah, so... thank you guys for watching. 9 out of 10.
Put on the suit. Yeah. Engine 3. I'll meet you there.
Escort 6-0, proceed to Wishbone and engage hostile. Don't get too close.
Stanley, at your service. How do I get myself yourself in these crazy situations. Get off of me, you big ape! No!
See what we got. I need you to get to that engine control panel and tell me which relays are in overload position. What's our next move? See what we got. Fine. Let's keep them occupied. Thanks.
Get killed. Walk it off.
Sure about this?
How does it feel to be a genius?
What, did you stop for drive-through?
Escort 6-0, do you copy? I repeat, do you copy?
to run on some form of electricity.
Well, you're not wrong.
Okay, the relays are attacked. What's our next move?
I'm gonna have to get in there and push.
Doc, we're losing altitude.
Yeah, noticed.
Are you ever not going to fall for that?
Tessa?
The humans think us immortal. Should we test that?
Move away, please. You like this? Even I don't know what it does. You want to find out?